A man sat alone at a coffee shop, staring out the window. He sipped his drink, looking lost in thought. People walked by, all in a rush. He didn't move. A stranger came in, sat at the table next to him and said, "Tough day." The man nodded. "I lost my job," he said quietly. The stranger smiled gently, replying, "Me too, last year. It led me here." He pointed to his name on the shop's owner sign. The man blinked, surprised. Sometimes losing something can lead you to a new path you never saw coming. The man's frown softened, hope beginning to fill his eyes. Anna spent the afternoon making a snowman. She gave it a hat, a scarf, and a big smile. Her dad walked by and said, "You know, it'll melt soon." Anna just nodded and kept shaping the snow. The next day, the snowman was gone, but in its place was a note she left. "Melting doesn't mean it's gone. It just changed." Her dad read it and paused. He knew she was talking about her mom, who passed last winter. Sometimes, like snowmen, people don't stay the same. But love doesn't melt away. It changes form. You just have to see it differently. Mr. Harris was strict. His words were cold, his tone harsh. The office was quiet and work felt heavy. Most employees kept their heads down. Then Sam joined. He always smiled, listened to ideas, and said, "Great job," when someone succeeded. His energy was like a light in the room. Slowly, the mood lifted. Mr. Harris noticed. One day he asked Sam, "Why so positive?" Sam replied, "A flower can't bloom in a storm, but it grows in the sun." Mr. Harris paused. He saw how Sam's encouragement made the team grow, realizing that a little kindness could lift everyone up. In a small village, there was a man named Finn. He was thinner than the other men, and they often teased him. "You look like a twig," they'd laugh. Finn stayed quiet, taking the words in stride. One day, a fierce storm flooded the village. The bigger men got stuck in the mud, their strength useless. But Finn, light and agile, moved quickly through the water, pulling trapped villagers to safety one by one. When it was over, someone asked, "How did you do it?" Finn just smiled and said, "Even a small key can open a big door." The villagers never mocked his size again. A boy sat on the bench, holding a kite with no wind to lift it. He sighed, "It won't fly." An older man passing by stopped. "Try again when the breeze picks up," he said. The boy shook his head. "What's the point?" The man smiled. "Kites are like dreams. They need the right moment to soar." The next day, a gust of wind came. The boy let go, and the kite rose high. Later, the boy said, "It worked." The man nodded. "See, sometimes waiting is the hardest part." The boy understood now. Patience can turn a still day into one where dreams take flight. Emma had been bullying kids for a while. She didn't think much of it until the headmaster called her parents in for a meeting. She waited nervously outside, unsure of what would happen. After the meeting, her parents seemed calm. "Everything's settled," her dad said. Emma sighed with relief. The next day when she arrived at school, the headmaster handed her a trash bag. "You'll be picking up trash for 30 days, he said. Shocked, Emma asked her parents for help that evening. They just smiled. "It was our idea," her mom said. Emma realized the lesson was meant to clean more than just the school grounds. A boy sat by the river watching the water flow. "Why does it never stop?" he asked his grandfather. The old man smiled. "Rivers never hurry, but they reach the sea. Life's the same. You'll get where you need to go." The boy frowned. "But I'm not moving fast enough." His grandfather shook his head. "You don't need to rush. Just keep going." Years later, the boy found himself sitting by the river again, a little wiser. He smiled as the water passed by. Like the river, he'd been moving all along, just not in the way he thought. The boy finally understood. Progress is quiet, but steady.